Hi, I hope you all of you understood about the ethnic composition of Belgium and as well as the ethnic composition of Brussels, the capital city of Belgium, and also the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka and even the majoritarianism also. So, dear students, now in this session we are going to understand how this the linguistic diversities and the ethnic problems are solved in Belgium country. So in this session we are going to discuss about accommodation in Belgium and the elements of Belgium government, or it's called also the model of Belgian government. In a country, especially in a democratic system, providing equal rights, providing equal opportunities, it is a basic and even it is a, one of the important aspects of the democratic system. So here, how the Belgian leaders by giving the equal rights, equal political opportunities, and how they are solved this problem. So let us discuss now. The first thing that the Belgian leaders recognized the existence of regional differences and cultural diversities. They accepted them. And the second thing, between 1970 to 1993, the Belgian leaders amended their constitution four times. By amending their constitutions, they brought a lot of changes in a system. And the arrangement they worked out is it's a very different from any other democratic country also. Even we cannot see like this system in any democratic countries. So it is a very innovative system which in Belgium they are practicing. It's a very innovative and it's a highly important and even it's become the model for the other democratic countries also. Now let us discuss about the main elements of the Belgian government. The Belgian leaders, by amending their constitution, they brought a lot of changes in power sharing system. The first thing that the constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking, the number of French and Dutch speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Please note this point. This is one of the important changes brought in the power sharing arrangements. The constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. And the second thing, many powers of the central government have been, the many powers of the central government have been given to state government of the two regions of the country. And another one important thing here the state governments are not subordinate to the central government. So this is clear now. Here in Belgium, the state governments are not subordinate to the central government. And the another one important thing, Brussels as a separate government in which both the communities have equal representation. Here the French speakers also and the Dutch speakers also have the equal representation. So here in Brazil, actually the French people there accepted the equal presence of the Dutch communities And even the Dutch community people, I mean the Dutch language speakers, they accepted the equal representation in the central government also. So this is what a very innovative method which they were brought in Belgium country. And apart from this state and central government, there is the another one government which is called as a community government. The community government is the special one which is introduced in Belgian country. Now let us discuss about the community government, or even it is called also the third government in Belgium. In Belgium, apart from the state and central government, there is the another one government which is called as the third government or the community government. What is the speciality of this community government? See, for this, the people they are electing those who are belonging to different language community. That means here the representatives they are electing by their own language speakers, and no matter where they live throughout the countryside. And it has the power regarding cultural, educational and language related issues. So please make it clear, the community government is a form, and in this community government represented by only the different language community speaker, I mean the different language speakers, and no matter where they live, and this community government has power about only the cultural, educational and language related issues. This is all about the Belgium model of the government. So it is very clear that the first thing that the constitution prescribes, that is about the number of ministers shall be equal in central government, French also and Dutch speaking ministers also equal. And the same time the state government as not subordinate to the central government, and also so many powers hand over to the state government by the central government. And also the another one important thing, the Brussels, the capital city of the Belgium, it has the separate government, and here also the representatives are equal in the French speakers also and Dutch speakers also. In Brussels, the French speakers they are accepted the equal represents of the Dutch people, and even the Dutch language speakers also they are accepted the equal presence in central government also. And apart from the state government and central government, again, so there is the community government also, and this is elected by people belonging to different language community, no matter where they live, and it has the power regarding only cultural, educational and language related issues. So this is all about the Belgium model of the government. Dear students, you might find the power sharing arrangements in Belgium, it is so complicated. It is really very complicated, which we cannot see in any other democratic countries. And it's indeed also very complicated, even for living in Belgium. So even these arrangements worked well so far, and even the conflicts between the two major communities, it's completely strife between the two major communities, and a possible division of the countries on the linguistic base also. And even when all the European countries came together to form the European Union, the Belgium is chosen as the headquarters of European Union, then we can understand the significance and the power sharing arrangement which is existed and which is introduced in Belgium country, and it is very innovative and even it is a model for all other democratic countries. So I hope you all of you understood about the model of the Belgium government. See, in Belgium, the leaders there accepted the unity of the country and even they are ready to give equal opportunities, equal rights for all the different language speakers, and the finally result was it is a very fruitful one. When we studied the Sri Lankan example, it's so complicated like Belgium only, and here the majority group, especially the Simhana speakers, the Buddhists, when they are disregarding about the Tamil speakers and the Tamil natives, and finally it's completely affected on the country economically, politically, educationally, and even the result of this, there are so many people they lost their lives in the both the communities also, so many they were become refugees also, and even so it finally leads the conflicts and it was turned into civil war also, and even we studied so and so things which were happened in Sri Lanka when the single community, the majority community, when they are going to dominate over the minority communities. Now we can come to conclude the power sharing is essential in a democratic system. Now let us discuss about more about why power sharing is desirable in democratic system. Why power sharing is desirable? Power sharing is good for democracy. Actually, the power sharing is reduce the conflicts in the society between different groups, because in a society there are different socio groups existing. So these conflicts may lead the political instability also in the country, and sometimes it may turn into social violence also. It may violence, conflicts, disputes, and finally all these things reflect on the society, and that shows that, I mean, the result of that instability of the political system. And in this instability of the political system, maybe some of the social groups are going to be suffered in a bad way, and the other they are going to be dominate over the minorities, especially the majority one, and it's always leads the conflicts in the society. There we cannot see the peace in the country also. The second thing is power sharing is a spirit of democracy, because in democracy all the people they are involving, and the democratic government is a legitimate also, and here the participants of the government and those who are going to be elected also, here the people they are going to govern themselves by electing their representatives, and in a different level with a different organs. In a democracy the power is shared, maybe the organs of the government or even the different levels of the government. It is one of the legitimate government where directly the people are involving, and even this is the best system which where the people themselves they are going to govern through their elected representatives. And that first step what we are discussing that we used to call as a prudential reason. That is about the power sharing. It's reduced the conflicts between the different social groups in the society. And the second one we used to call as a moral reasons because here all are responsible and even the government also accountable to the people. And in a different way, in a democratic countries or the system, the power of the government it is not going to be centralized. It is all about the decentralization of the power. And even the common people also involved in this system and they are become more responsible also. So that's what dear students. So sharing power is essential and even it is a desirable also. I hope you all of you understood about all these things and let us discuss about the power sharing system by learning forms of power share. How the government power is shared. That things we are going to discuss now. Now, let us discuss about the forms of power sharing. The idea of power sharing has emerged in opposition in the notions of undivided political power. For a long time, it was believed that all power of a government must reside in a person or the group of the persons located at one place. And it was felt that if it is the situation, even they cannot take quick decision also and even it's too difficult to enforce also. But these notions have changed with the emergence of the concept of democracy. In a democracy, it is made for people and we can even try to remember the beautiful quotation which was given by the ex-president of America, Abraham Lincoln. I hope you all of you knows that. By the people, for the people, of the people. So, in this type of government, in a democracy, people rule themselves through even in the different institutions and even we are called as the self-government system, especially in India. So there we can see where the people of the rural area they are also involving in these different institutions or the self-government system. Even in a democracy, all the people are participating directly and indirectly, and even they are going to be contributed a lot to make a policies also and to shape a public opinion also. And all these things is possible through power sharing, especially in a democratic form of the countries only. Now, let us discuss about the different forms of power sharing in a democratic countries. The first thing that in a democracy, the power is shared among different organs of the government. such as legislature, executive, and judiciary. See, this we used to call as the horizontal distribution of power sharing, legislature, executive, and judiciary. And here, all these three organs are independent and interdependent except judiciary. In legislature, all the elected representatives are accountable to the judiciary, and also the in judiciary they are also appointed by the executives, and even though the judiciary is going to check all these things, they are observing and they are guiding according to the constitution. And here the legislature and executive two are work together, and judiciary also observing and watching and guiding whatever they passed and whatever they are going to execute. And even this system also it's called as check and balance. And even the elected representatives in a legislature, whoever it may be, they are accountable to the people also. They cannot take their own decision. And each organ has their own limitations also. Legislature has its own limits, executive has its own limits, but the judiciary works under the constitution. Judiciary is the superior organ of the government, and it is going to check and it is going to be checked all the process whatever taken by the government. So that's what this system we used to call as a check and balance system also. And here all the different organs of the governments are responsible one and even accountable to the people also. And let us discuss about the vertical division of the power share. Vertical division of the power share. The power can be shared between the governments at different levels also. And this is used to called as a vertical division of the power. Usually, there is the general government, it's for the whole country. And also there will be the provincial governments or regional level governments. So in India, the general government it is also called the federal government, and even it is also called central government, and also we are calling as the union government. So here the power of the government shared between different levels of the government also, and this is called as vertical division of power. So there is a central government, and it's also called union government or the federal government, and this is for the entire country. And in provincial level or in the regional level there are several state government also. And in India there is the another level of the government or the third level of the government that is called as a local self government. is we used to call as a vertical division of the power. The power is shared between central government, state government, and even so the local self government also. In a democracy, the power can be shared between among different social groups also, such as linguistic groups, religious groups. For best example, the community government of the Belgium. So, by this we can understand that the power can be shared between among different socio-religious or the linguistic groups also in a democracy. Dear students, in a democracy, there is the possibility of power sharing between the different political parties also and even the pressure groups and the movement also. To understand this, we can take an example of our country, that is about the NDA and UPA. Here, there is the group of political parties where they are shared the government power. If suppose if there is no majority for any single political party, and in that situation if the different political parties come together and if they form the government, even this situation also the political, I mean the power of the government is shared between different political parties also. And this type of political power sharing we used to call as a power sharing system, and this is called as a coalition government. That means so there is a the group of political parties they are going to form the government where there is no majority for a single political party. And also sometimes the governments can be influenced by the pressure groups also. Maybe the big entrepreneurs, businessmen, or the industrialist, they can put indirectly their pressure on political parties or in the government. So, in this way, in a democracy, the power is shared in a different way. So, at the end of this session, we understood that the power is shared between the different organs of the government, and it is called as the horizontal power sharing system among legislature, executive, and judiciary. And again, the power can be shared between different levels of the government, central government, state government, and the third government or the local self government also. And even there is the possibility of distribution of the power within a different social groups also, and also even the power can be shared between the different political parties and even the pressure group also. So by understanding this we are going to finish. If you have any doubt, so you can ask about the power sharing arrangements in a democratic condition. Thank you, dear students.